Yes. Let's start. In this session, we are going to start AWS RDS team. RDS stands for Relational Database Service. Here we are going to learn SQL for AWS Data Engineering. Using AWS RDS service, we are going to learn SQL for AWS Data Engineering. Okay. So as part of this one, let's start understanding what are the concepts we are going to discuss. Okay, let me uh, explain it. First, we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss RDS. So in AWS Cloud, in AWS Cloud, AWS Cloud, we have a service called RDS. We have a service called RDS. Using RDS, using RDS, we can we can take any database as a service. Let's say uh, using RDS, we are going to set up we are going to set up MySQL database. MySQL database. MySQL database. So first we are going to understand what is AWS RDS, what are benefits of RDS, why people chooses RDS instead of setting database servers manually in EC2 machines. What are its benefits? If you take MySQL using RDS, what are benefits you get? Along with MySQL, what are different other database engines RDS providing? Okay, what are benefits you will get when you go with RDS? Then we are going to understand what are different RDS database engines available. Along with MySQL, it has Oracle, PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server, uh, AWS Aurora, and it supports IBM DB2. We are going to discuss what are supported database engines in RDS. Once we understand those, we are going to set up a AWS RDS. In this, we are going to provision MySQL instance. Provision MySQL instance using RDS. Once we understand this one, then very important topic, how to connect RDS. So you can use any database clients. Supported client or most recommended client for MySQL is MySQL Workbench. MySQL Workbench. So this MySQL Workbench we will install in Windows Mission. Windows Mission, and then we are going to connect. We are going to connect uh, MySQL Workbench. MySQL Workbench with our our RDS MySQL. RDS MySQL. So we are going to create a connection between our MySQL Workbench with this one. Once we create a connection, then we are going to discuss all this SQL part. All this SQL part. So SQL, we are going to write SQL queries, and we are going to learn DDL, DML, DRL, TCL, DCL, filter commands. And once we complete this one, we are going to see integrating RDS with different services and different technologies. Okay. All these concepts we are going to discuss as a part of AWS RDS. Okay. So, so These 12 concepts are very, very, very important because you may coming from non-IT background, you may coming from non-programming background, you may coming from non-SQL background. You may not have SQL knowledge. If you already having a SQL knowledge, it's add an advantage. But this main targeted for RDS is who do not have knowledge on SQL, and who have knowledge on SQL also they will get benefits because here we are learning SQL on top of RDS. So we are going to understand what is RDS, benefits, setuping, configuration, connecting, then doing our SQL activity. Okay, clear writing? AWS RDS syllabus, what are we are going to cover? Yeah. Uh, let's continue. Okay? Let's continue AWS RDS. In that, let's continue. What is Amazon RDS and what are benefits of Amazon RDS? Okay. First, let's start understanding what is Amazon RDS. Amazon RDS full form is Relational Database Service. RDS stands for Relational Database Service. And it is very simple and easy to set up a relational database in the cloud. Usually how we are going to set up database team. So we will take a cluster, let's say our own on premise on premise means our own data center. Then then here we are going to set up a cluster, means group of missions. Cluster means group of missions. Then in these missions, we will install database servers, database server. This is one way. And other way is virtualization software like VMware, Citrix, Oracle VirtualBox kind of virtualization softwares we will use. Then we will set up virtualization. So we will create multiple virtual machines. Then we will install. We will install. Next one, let's take cloud services. Let's take cloud service. Let's say it may be EC2 from AWS or VM from Azure, VM service from Azure, or Google Cloud Engine, Google Cloud Engine from from Google Cloud Platform. So here we will take virtual machines, we will take virtual machines, and we will install and configure our database software. Yes or no? In all this, what we are going to do? We are going to do complete manual installations, configurations. Yes or no? We will install database server in each and every machine. Then we will configure. Along with that one, we are going to do lot of administration activities like taking backups, and along with that one, if any latest comes, we will take and care to update latest versions, putting maintenance mode, and updating. Lot of manual activities we are going to do as part of database administration activities if you go with this approach. But if you go with RDS, if you go with RDS instead of this approach, if you go with RDS, AWS RDS, AWS RDS, it provides it provides very simple and easy to set up relational database in the cloud. This RDS provides one template. Let's say one template. Here it will ask choose a database. Let's say I choose an MySQL. Then choose resources sizes, resource plan. Then enter your username, password. That's it. Some important steps inside a template for your installation purpose. Once you fill all these details, AWS will taken care to create your database server. Database server backup it will taken care. You can use you can use multi multi availability zone. You can set up multi availability zone. Even you can set up a cross region. Many benefits with RDS. Backup and everything is taken care by AWS. You least bother about all those things. You can focus on your development. You can focus on your development. It is very easy to set up your database server on cloud with RDS service. Okay, so benefits. Let's see benefits. So first benefit, administration burden is reduced. You no need to install, configure. You no need to take EC2 missions or Azure VM missions or GCP cloud engines. You least bother about those missions creation first and setting network environment and then installing database server. All those administration activities is reduced. You just fill the details in a template. Then RDS will taken care to set up and give database server for you. Next one, cost effective. Let's say here I created 100 missions. Day one I created 100 missions. I am expecting I am developing e-commerce application. So throughout the world, people purchases products from my e-commerce website. I have a vision, but until some month, only few customers are visiting. No much business, only less business. Then I am getting less data. The data is max of GBs, max of GBs only. Then what is the use of setting this big cluster? Okay, if you set up, you have already purchased hardwares and you purchased software licensing, you recruited lot of administrators and lot of cost burden on you if you go with this approach. Yes or no? So here it is cost effective. How much data you are storing? Based on that, they will calculate pricing. They will calculate pricing. Other advantage is scalability. Here you are thinking you get a lot of data so that you set up initially a lot of missions, but here it will scale automatically and you can add remove missions easily into this one and it is highly available means you can set up multi availability zone. Let's say here you set up on-prem in Hyderabad X location is not available, then again you need to set up somewhere location, right? Same similar replica. So you can divert to your request to that location, right? So here heavy burden, but here you can configure multi availability zone. even if possible, you can use cross region so that you can make your RDS RDS database service available 24 by 7, 365 days. And next one thing, it is eligible for free tier. It is eligible for free tier until some size. You can get a free tier. Let me show you free tier. See, 750 hours per month. 750 hours per month. Sorry, 750 hours for 12 months. You will get a free tier. Free tier. See here, you can see size 20 GB, 20 GB. Okay, 20 GB space you will get. More than 20 GB space, if you store, then they will start charging. Next one thing, very important one is security. Inbuilt every service, inbuilt every service associated with AWS IAM. So if anyone wants to access RDS, they need a permission of RDS. First level. Second level, database level, we can set up users and passwords, etc. And third level, we have a KMS, Amazon Key Management Store. Amazon Key Management Store. You can save your sensitive information in KMS, and while connecting your RDS service, you can use that sensitive information. So multiple layers of security team, layers of security, and also you can implement virtual private cloud VPC. So main missions, you can put in VPS, you can set up a client mission. That client mission we can allow to connect to this uh, MySQL server. Various levels of security issue. So key management, we can apply encryption and authorization with IAM, and by default security implementation like username and passwords with databases. So many important security implementations you can apply on AWS RDS database service. Okay, hope you understand benefits of Amazon RDS. Let's continue. In we are discussing AWS RDS. In that, let's continue AWS RDS database engines. AWS provides AWS RDS provides different databases as a service. As part of RDS, as part of RDS, this is RDS. Okay, RDS as a user, as a user. Okay, we can we can navigate RDS. You can choose any database service. Currently, AWS RDS is giving Amazon Aurora similar to RDBMS, MySQL, Oracle. Amazon people developed their own database. RDBMS service is Amazon Aurora. Okay, you can select Amazon Aurora. You can select PostgreSQL. You can select MySQL. You can select MariaDB, Oracle DB, Microsoft SQL Server, IBM DB2. Currently, it's supporting these many databases. Whatever the database you want, you can select it. Let's say I want to PostgreSQL. You want Oracle. Someone want Microsoft SQL Server. and new guys, they want to take Amazon Aurora, anything. All these database servers we discussed, it comes with the free tier eligibility. Once free tier is completed, then we go with the pay as you go basis. Based on the data storage in RDS database service, they will start charging. Okay. So these are database engines currently AWS RDS is supporting. Amazon Aurora, PostgreSQL, MySQL, MariaDB, Oracle Database, Microsoft SQL Server, and IBM DB2. And one more important point to do. This Amazon Aurora, Amazon Aurora database, they developed, they developed, and they are giving two support formats, MySQL and PostgreSQL and MySQL. What is the meaning of this one is, let's say my client using MySQL. We know last few years onwards MySQL syntax. Then you can select a Amazon Aurora with MySQL flavored. It means in that you can use MySQL syntax, SQL syntax for creating tables, inserting data, updations, deletions. You can go with MySQL syntax. If you select Amazon Aurora similar to PostgreSQL, then you can use PostgreSQL syntax. Currently, it is supporting two syntaxes. Okay. So these are different database engines currently AWS RDS is supporting. Only these 7 engines too. 7 engines means 7 servers, database servers types. Yeah. First of all, all these are RDBMS databases. RDBMS databases. Second one, first point is all these are RDBMS. All these are RDBMS. Okay. Second point is all these databases supports SQL. All these databases supports SQL. This SQL, right? This SQL, little syntax wise, little syntax wise different. Database to database, syntax wise, little difference. So PostgreSQL syntax, MySQL syntax, Oracle database syntax, and Microsoft SQL syntax, IBM DB2 syntax, little different. MariaDB follows same as MySQL. Okay, and uh, little syntax wise. That's why, that's why here Amazon they developed one Amazon supporting MySQL, another Amazon Aurora supporting PostgreSQL syntax. That's what I say. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's continue it. In this session, as part of AWS RDS, we are going to discuss provisioning MySQL using AWS RDS. Okay. I logged in as my root user. So this is AWS Management Console. Navigate RDS, search RDS, okay, and click on Aurora and RDS. So this one is RDS homepage or dashboard. Left side, you can see databases. click on databases, and you can see option called create a database. You can click on create a database. Right side top, you can find create database. Once you click on create a database, you can see different databases too. Database engines. You can see Aurora with MySQL compatible, Aurora with Postgres compatible, MySQL database, Postgres SQL, MariaDB, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, IBM DB2. So I want to create a MySQL database. Here I am creating Aurora MySQL compatible database tip. You can select which database you want to create. I am selecting Aurora MySQL compatible. Then here it is showing latest version of Aurora MySQL compatible. Then database cluster name, I am giving Akkem Sreenivas -db. Then username, master username, admin. And next one, you want to create user password. So managed in AWS Secret Manager or self-managed. I'm selecting self-managed. Then enter password. You want to auto-generated password or you want to create password? I want to create it. Then re-enter password. Okay. Then you can, remaining options are default options. And here you can see database size. It providing 8 virtual CPUs, 64 GB RAM. And multi-availability zone. If you want to multi-availability zone, you can select. Next one. Here, very, very important one, this one, public access. Select yes option. This is very important. Click on public access, yes. Then click on create a database. Yeah, it is creating database team. It may take a few seconds time. Let's wait a few seconds time. And once this creation is completed, then we are going to see how to connect this database. Yeah. Now you can see successfully create database. Okay. So database is successfully created. So clear writing, how to provision MySQL using AWS RDS. Yeah. Now let's continue. As part of AWS RDS, now let's see how to connect AWS RDS. We just created Aurora MySQL compatible using AWS RDS, okay, in AWS cloud. How to connect this MySQL database? So first one, AWS RDS providing query editor. Using this query editor, we can create a connection between MySQL, Aurora MySQL database. Then here you can write SQL. This is one way of connecting. Second one, install any database clients like MySQL Workbench in your machine, DB or MySQL Workbench. Then using JDBC or ODBC, you can create a connection to RDS MySQL database. Or using any application, any programmatic approach like Java, Python, Spark, Glue, etc. Use JDBC or ODBC and you can create a connection. Then you can interact with MySQL. So using any database client, you can directly write SQL queries. These are different ways to connect AWS RDS team. So let's see. First, let's see connecting AWS RDS using query editor. Go to AWS RDS. Okay. So in AWS RDS, you can see query editor. Let me open query editor in new tab. Select database cluster name. I give Akkem Sreenivas -db and database username. Database username is admin and enter password. Then see, enter the database name or schema. At this point of time, we do not have any database created or schema is created. Just click on connect to database. Then here it is asking you should enable data API. So click on modify database and scroll down. Enable the RDS data API. Click on this one. Click on enable data API. Then once again, yeah, let's wait to complete this data API enable option. Okay. Now data API is enabled successfully. Let's go to query editor once again. Select a database name and enter username and password is entered. Click on connect to database. Now you can see query editor is connected. So here you can write any SQL query. So here you can create a database, you can create, you can write any SQL query to get the details stream. Like any SQL query, you can write in this query editor. So let's say create database. Database name is mydb. Select this one, control enter. Then use mydb. Then show tables. Currently, there are no tables in mydb. There are no tables. You can change database, use admin, and then mydb. Show tables. There are no tables in this database. There are no tables in this database. So here you can write any SQL query type. So this is query editor provided by AWS RDS to connect any database. So first approach clear, right, team? How to connect MySQL Aurora database using query editor? Yeah. Let's continue, team. In previous session, we have created AWS RDS instance. We created Aurora MySQL compatible uh, RDS instance. Then we seen how to connect using query editor. Now let's see installing MySQL workbench, then creating connection between Aurora MySQL with our MySQL workbench. Okay, yeah. Let's let's see it. First, download MySQL workbench. So open any browser, then search MySQL workbench download. Then click on this first link and download this MySQL workbench team. Click on download. Then click on no thanks, start download. I have already downloaded MySQL workbench in my machine. Let me show. So this is my downloaded file. Once download is successful, double click on this downloaded file. Double click on downloaded file. Then it will start installing them. Choose all default options. Click on next button, and click on next button. All default options. Click on install. It will open a pop-up window. Click on yes button. Then it will start continuing installation. So installation is successful. Uncheck this option, click on finish. Okay. Now let's open MySQL Workbench team. Type Workbench. You can see MySQL Workbench. Click on this MySQL Workbench. So now I am going to create a connection between MySQL Workbench and Aurora MySQL. So here you can see database. Click on database. Here you can see manage connections. And here you can see new. Then give a connection name, Aurora RDS underscore MySQL. And here provide host name. Go to RDS service. Let's open RDS service. And go to databases and open this database. Select this database. And here you can see connectivity and security. Here you can see endpoint team. So this is endpoint of your database. Copy this endpoint. Then enter endpoint here. Endpoint. And then username is admin. And enter password. Click on this store in val. Enter password. Then click on OK. Then click on test connection. If test connection is successful, then it is connecting successfully. So here you are seeing failed to connect MySQL. So check how to resolve this issue. So first one, go to your RDS instance. Then go to click on modify. Then check public access is enabled or not. So go to once again databases. Connectivity. Here let's select this DB instance. So this is endpoint. To take this endpoint and so this one already enabled public access. Copy this endpoint and once again enter this endpoint here. And go to once again check VPC. This is the VPC. Click on this VPC and check 3306 port number is enabled or not. Select this VPC and go to inbound rules. In database connection, so go to your database, select your database instance, and then here you can see VPC security groups, default VPC security groups. Go to this security group, and here you can see select this security group. Here you can see inbound rules. Here it is enabled all traffic. Edit inbound rules. And here just add a rule. Rule is enable MySQL Aurora 3306. Then anywhere public IP access. Then click on save rule. Now once again go to our connection. Then click on test connection. Enter a password. Once again change this password. Then click on test connection. Yeah, now you can see successfully made the SQL connection. So first one, enable enable 3306 port, 3306 port. Second one, check public access is enabled or not. Public access enabled or not. Okay. So if you see error in connection, check these two things. One is enable 3306 port in default VPC, and next one, check public access is enabled or not. If these two are enabled, then it will create, it will connect successfully. So now click on OK, click on close. Now go to database and go to connect to database, then select our connection, then click on OK. Yeah. Now we are able to connect MySQL RDS instance. So you can write any query like show databases. So yesterday we created one database called MyDB. Let's show tables. let me use MyDB, then show tables. So under MyDB database, currently there are no tables. So clear writing how to create a connection between MySQL Workbench and MySQL RDS instance. Yeah, let's continue AWS RDS. In this, let's understand what is SQL. SQL full form is Structured Query Language. It is a common language to communicate with any RDBMS database. SQL is a common language to communicate with any RDBMS database. RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Relational Database Management System is a software. This software implemented by multiple vendors like Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, and IBM DB2, and MySQL and PostgreSQL. All these databases supports a common language called SQL. So SQL can be used to communicate with any database. SQL again is a combination of 5 sub-languages. It's a combination of 5 sub-languages. So first one DDL, DML, DRL, and TCL and DCL. SQL again combination of 5 sub-languages. These are 5 sub-languages: DDL, DML, DRL, TCL, and DCL. Coming to DDL, DDL contain complete data definition related commands. Let's say you want to store the data into database. First, we need to create a structure. So to create table structure, to create database, to create table, to create users, to create any object, we use data definition language commands. Data definition language having different commands like create, alter, and drop. These are 3 important commands of data definition language. Using this data definition language, we can create database objects like user creation, table creation, database creation. And once we created, if you want to modify anything, we use alter command. If you want to drop entire structure from RDBMS database, we use a drop command. So these 3 commands related to definition of data definition language commands. And next important one is sub-languages DML. So DML full form is data manipulation language. As part of data manipulation language, we have commands called insert, update, delete, truncate. Using data definition language, let's say we create a table called EMP. Assume we create a table called EMP. In this table, if you want to insert the data, we use insert command. If you want to edit any records, if you want to delete, we use delete command. If you want to modify any data inside a table, we use update command. If you want to remove all records from table, we use either delete or we use truncate command. So DML contain commands to insert the data, delete the data, update the data, delete all records from the table. Means modify data or manipulation of data type. Using DDL, we can provide a definition. We can create a definition. Create a definition. Let's say we created definition, assume we created definition for table. We can create a definition, we can alter a definition, we can drop a definition using DDL command. Once a definition is created, to manipulate data inside that definition, we use DML commands like insert, update, delete, and truncate. So using DDL, we create a definition. Using DML, we inserted data. Using DML, we updated data. Then I want to read data from this table. Then we have next important one is DRL. DRL having only one command called select. Using select command, we can retrieve data from table. We can read or retrieve data from table too. DDL can be used to create a definition. DML can be used to manipulate data inside a table definition. And once data is presented in table, we can retrieve that data using DRL commands. We can call DRL or DQL. DRL means data retrieval language. DQL means data query language. Data query language having only one command, select. Next important sub-language is TCL. Let's say TCL having three important commands: commit, rollback, and save point. Let's say team using database, we are transferring data from one database to other database. Let's say we are using update command. We are using update command. Here, let's say we are transferring money from account one from bank one to bank two, and we are transferring to account one in bank two. So we are doing transaction. In this, we used update command and we deducted money from this account. Deducted money from this account. While transferring this money to other account, here maybe due to some network issue, some other issue, money is not deposited. Here money is deducted, but money is not transferred to other account. How we can manage these kind of transactions is using this transaction management commands. So TCL having two important commands, commit and rollback. If both sides transaction happens successful, we use commit in our account one. If a transaction failed, then we use rollback to retrieve previous transaction back. So to maintain transaction in your database, we use TCL commands, commit and rollback. If both sides transaction happens successful, then we can apply commit. If any side transaction failed, we can revoke previous uh, action. We use rollback command again to revert to transaction. To cancel previous statement, we use rollback command. And other important command is save point command. While working database as a SQL developer, here we write multiple SQL commands, right? Here we write multiple SQL commands. Let's say here we are writing multiple SQL commands, multiple SQL commands. Here we can create a save point certain. Save point 1, save point 2, save point 3. Like that, we can create multiple save points. At the end, if some transaction is successful, then you want to commit or you want to execute to save point 3. All these SQL statements. So while working in a SQL environment, we write multiple SQL statements. Multiple SQL statements. You can create multiple save points too. Save point 1, save point 2. Like this, you can create multiple save points. Let's say, let's say you want to save all these SQL statement actions. Let's say you want to save S3 save point. You want to cancel this S3. You want to save only S2 save point. After S2, before S2, before save point 2, whatever SQL statements executed, you want to commit only these SQL statements. You do not want this S3 save point. Then we use save point thing. Once again, let's understand save point. Save point, we will create save points for transactions, means different SQL statements. So either editor or any SQL client, we write multiple SQL statements, right? We can create multiple save points in SQL statements. We will create the save points for different SQL statements, and we will execute save points based on conditions. Let's say you can write a condition. You can check result. If result is giving some value, based on that value, you want a commit some save points, or you want to execute all transactions until that save point. Clear team? Any question here? Save point? Yes. Yes, correct. So I create a save point 1. Then I will write multiple SQL statements. Then again I will create another save point 2. Then I will write multiple other SQL statements. Each SQL statement is one transaction. Next, again I create save point 3. Then I will write SQL statements. Then finally I write a condition based on condition result. Based on condition result, let's say here, if result based on this result, I can execute either save point 3 or save point 2. If I say execute to save point 2, It will execute all transactions until save point to before save point to 3. All these SQL statements. The next important I said we use condition, we put a condition, then we execute all statements from save point 1 to save point 2 instead of executing save point 3 commands. So our requirement is we are writing multiple SQL statements, and finally we are putting one condition. Based on that condition, we are executing different save points. Yeah, yeah. Let's say we are writing SQL statement 1, SQL statement 1, 2, and so on. Some X. Again, I created one more save point to 2. Then again, I continued multiple SQL statements. Then again, I created one more save point. Then I created multiple SQL statements. So you are correct. We executed all these SQL statements. Then finally, here I put a condition. I put a condition. Then my requirement is if this condition is successful, I want only these SQL statements should be committed. Otherwise, let's say if this condition is true, then I want to commit all this until this S3 save point. If condition is false, I want to commit only until this save point to 2. Yes. Hmm. Yes, correct. Until S2, whatever SQL statements we written, right? All these transactions going to commit. Yes, yes. Yeah. Next important sub language is data control language. Here we have two commands team, grant and revoke commands. Let's say in database, in database, we can create users using data definition language. We can create users. We can create users. Let's say user 1 to user n. User n. So user can use any database clients like MySQL Workbench, then he can connect to our database. So once user is connected, what kind of operations user can perform on this database? So using grant, we can give privileges on the database. like select privilege, delete privilege, and update privilege. So different commands access we grant to users. Using grant command, we can give privileges on the database. Using revoke command, we can cancel privileges. So DCL sublanguage contain two commands. One is grant and another one is revoke. Using grant and revoke, we can give privileges on the database. We can cancel privileges on the database. So these are five sublanguages of SQL team. SQL is a yes, correct, database users. Yeah, we can give table level, we can give database level access to the user. Yeah, let's continue AWS RDS team. As part of AWS RDS, we are discussing SQL for AWS Data Engineering. In this session, let's continue data definition language commands with examples. There are three commands in data definition language. One is create, and another one is alter, and next one is drop commenting. So I already connected AWS RDS using MySQL Workbench. Okay, let's say first example, I'm creating a database. Create a database name raw underscore DB. So I'm creating one database name is raw underscore DB. So in some databases, some RDBMS, we call it as schema. In MySQL, we create a database team. For every project, we create a separate database. Let's say we are working for two projects. One is ICI, and another project is HDFC, HDFC Bank. So both contain tables called account. So in default location, we cannot create single multiple tables with the same name. So what we will do, we will create a database for ICICI separate, HDFC separate. Then in both databases, we can create separate tables called account. So for every project, we create a separate database. Database is a collection of related tables. And to connect that database, we use command called use raw underscore DB. To switch from one database to another database, we use command called raw underscore DB. By default, it is connected to default database. Once we use this one, it switches from default database to raw underscore DB. You can see in databases, manage connections. While creating connection, we can also specify default schema, raw underscore DB. Okay, so it is recommended to switch from your required database. Otherwise, whatever you are going to create, those are going to create in default locations. You can see schema here. So schema, refresh. You can see raw underscore DB is highlighted. Whenever you use database name, the current database is raw underscore DB. Using this create a database command, you can create any number of databases. I'm creating one more database, MyDB. You can refresh here. You can see MyDB is created. Using drop command, we can drop a database. Drop command can be used to drop definition. It may be table definition, it may be schema definition. So next one, I am creating a table too. So using create command, I am creating a table. Let's see syntax of table creation. So we use create command. Create, if it is database, we use a database option. If it is table, we use a table option and table name, and list of columns. Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and its data types. So what type of data we are storing in that column? So column 1 is ID. In this location, we are going to store all numeric data. And other column is name. In this name column, we are going to store complete character data. So to store character data, we have varchar data type. And other column is age. Age column, again, we are storing numeric data. So data type is integer. And other column is department. Department, we are going to store string data. So while creating table definition, we will give a column name and type of data, what kind of data we are going to store in that column. Let's execute this one, select this query and control enter. You can refresh here. You can open tables. Here you can see employees. You can see columns, and these are column names. Let's say we created a table, but while creating table, let's say we forgot to add one column. Later also we can add new column using alter command. Alter command can be used to modify definition. If definition is created, you can alter the definition using alter command. So using alter, we are adding a new column called salary. So now you can refresh. You can see salary column is added to employees table. Next one, dropping table. Drop command can be used to drop any database object. It may be database, it may be table, it may be any database object we can drop using drop command. Let me create a new table and drop this table. So I'm creating new table called employees 2. So you can see two tables are presented, employees and employees 2. I am dropping employees 2 table. You can type show tables. Then you can find a list of tables in MyDB. So we have only one table because we dropped second table. Clear writing, how to drop database, how to drop table, how to create a table, how to alter table. Yeah. Now let's continue DML commands. Okay? We seen DDL commands, right? Create, alter, and drop. Now let's see DML commands. Once a definition is created, we can insert, we can delete records, we can modify records, we can remove some records, or we can remove all records using DML commands. DML full form is data manipulation language. Let's see, let's try to insert the data into a table called employees. Let's say I am creating a table. Let's say here, let's say if I drop a table employees, now there are no tables in my DB, raw underscore DB. There are no tables. I am creating table first and later I am going to insert the data. So I am creating a table employees with 4 columns. Then I am trying to insert the data using insert command type. Let's observe insert command syntax type. Insert into table name and list of columns, values of, and each row we can separate with comma. You can insert any number of rows, and each column value we put inside a parenthesis. Inside parenthesis, and here each column value separated with comma. If it is a string, we put in single quote. If it is a numeric value, we specify directly. If it is a string, we put inside single quote. Each column value separated with comma, and each each row separated with comma, and last row we separate with semicolon. So you can add, you can insert any number of row string. In this example, I'm inserting 2 rows. Control enter. Then once we inserted, if you want to see the in details of a table, if you want to read a table, we have a command called select. Select command is a data retrieval language command, DRL command. So we inserted 2 records. We are retrieving table data. So this table contains 2 records. Next one, I want to modify age of particular employee. Let's say new year is changed and we want to update age of employee, or we want to modify age of employee. Then see, before this update command, before this update command, first employee age is 30. Once we update, you can see by default MySQL workbench not allowing to modify any records. So you can see you are using safe mode, safe update mode. So you have to modify the environment in MySQL workbench team. So in MySQL Workbench, by default, safe mode is enabled. So you are not able to update or remove or disable. You are unable to update the records. So for that, you have to remove or disable. Disable safe mode. So go to database. Sorry. Edit and preferences. Query editor. So select SQL editor. And here you can see save updates. Disable this option and click on OK. Then re-execute this one tip. Control Enter. Still safe mode is not disabled. Go to preferences. SQL editor. Save updates, rejects updates and deletes when restrictions. Let's close this once again and reopen MySQL Workbench. Let's once again check preferences. Safe mode is disabled. Let's try to re-execute update. Yeah, now it is working. Yeah, let's execute, select once again. Previously, employee age is 30. Now employee age is 31. Using update command, we can modify data inside a table. Next one, let's try to remove record 1. I want to delete employee ID 1. So we can use delete command. We can use a delete command to delete records from table. In delete, we write a condition. We write a condition. Delete from employees where ID equal to 1. So it will delete employee 1 record. Let's select this command. Control Enter. Now let's execute to select command. Once again, let's see. Let's execute to select command once again. Sorry, because I used select in this way. So it executed this command insert also. That's why we are seeing multiple records. Now let's once again delete records using this command. And let's execute to select command. We can see only employee ID 2 records. Okay. So using delete with condition, we can delete matched records. Another command is truncate commanding. Truncate command drops all records from the table. Let me execute the truncate command. For truncate command, condition is optional. You can specify table name. It removes all records from the table. Let's select a table. Now you can see 0 records in the table. So here, difference between drop, delete, and truncate. Truncate command deletes all records. Deletes all records. All records. Coming to delete, deletes match records. So we write a condition, deletes matched records. Match records. Coming to drop, it deletes definition. Deletes definition. So if you want to delete table definition, we use drop command. If you want to delete some records, we use delete command. If you want to remove all records, we use truncate command. Clear writing? This DDL command, DML commands. Yeah. Yes. Now here, this is the last record. Last record should be terminated with semicolon. Then if you want to insert one more record, here use comma. Instead of semicolon, use comma. Yes. In MySQL, end of any command, we use semicolon. Yes, to drop definition, any definition, we use drop command. Particular records. Entire data. No, only data. To drop definition, we use only drop command. Truncate, yes, if you delete database, it will delete entire database. If you use drop database name, it will drop entire database. If you want to delete the table, you can use drop table name. Drop table, table name. Entire. Yeah. Now let's continue AWS RDS. In this session, let's continue DRL commands. DRL stands for Data Retrieval Language. Also, we call it as DQL, Data Query Language. In DRL, DQL, we have only one command called select. Select command can be used to retrieve data from table. We use different options in select team. If you use select star from table name, it will retrieve all rows and all columns. Star means all columns. So here, if you use select star means all columns. Let's say, let's insert data into this table. Now, let's see select star from table name. It will return all rows and all columns. If you want only few columns, instead of a star, you can specify required columns. Let's say I want only employee name and employee age. Then you can specify list of columns, name, comma, age. Then it will return only name, age columns, but all rows. If you want only few rows, then you can specify condition. Let's say I want only age greater than 25. I do not want all employee details. I want only few columns, but where age greater than 25. So here we write a condition. Only satisfied rows it will return. So greater than 25, only one record. So using data retrieval language, we can retrieve data from table. So here we use one command called select. In select, if you use select star, it will return all columns of a table. If you want only few columns, instead of a star, you can specify list of columns. With comma separation, it will return result with specified columns, but all rows. If you want only matched rows, then we write a condition using where in select query. Let's say I want to employee ID 1 or employee ID equal to 2, where ID equal to 2. So it will return only matched records. So DRL, we have only one command, select command. Using select command, we can retrieve data from table. Yeah, let's continue AWS RDS team. In this, let's continue SQL utility commands. There are some important common commands team. One is use. Let's say use command can be used to switch from one database to another database. If you observe here, you can see raw_db is highlighted. It means currently this workspace default database is raw_db. I want to switch from raw_db to other database called Swiss. Then you can use database name. It switch from one database to other database. Now you can see sys database is highlighted. Then when I type show tables, it will show tables presented in this database. So another utility command is show command. Show command we can use for listing default tables in database. Default are all tables. So you can use show command to display list of tables. Show command can be used to display databases, list of databases in MySQL. Let's say I want to know what are tables in raw_db. Then first switch to particular database. Then you can type show_tables. You can see in that raw_db, we have only one table. Another important utility command is describe command. Describe command can be used to display the schema of a table. Schema means column names with data types. So when you give a table name, it gives column names and data types, whether that column allows null values or not. If there is any key column, then it will display that key column name. So complete table properties it will display. So these are three important utility commands it is. Yeah. Let's continue AWS RDS. In that, let's continue TCL commands it is. We have discussed there are three commands in transaction control language. One is begin. The next one is commit. And next one is rollback team. There are three commands. In TCL, we have three commands. Let's say in our workbench, we are writing different SQL statements, right? SQL statements. Each SQL statement, we can say one transaction. One transaction. Let's say if you want to save this transaction result, this SQL result permanently into this database, we use commit. If you observe here in MySQL workbench, go to edit, go to preferences. You can see SQL editor. You can see auto commit option is true. So whatever the commands we execute here is, it will results automatically saves in permanently into database. If you want to maintain transaction, we use these three commands. Before executing any SQL statement in any SQL statement in our editor, we start a transaction using begin command. Begin command. Let's say I'm starting transaction using begin command. And after begin, what I'm doing, I am writing insert query. Insert query. I am inserting third record. Third record. When I display employees table, select star from employees. Then this table contain how many records? 3 records, right? But I do not want to save this third record into this table. I want to cancel this transaction. Then you can use revoke, sorry, rollback. If I say rollback, then if I execute this select command, see, we have only 2 records. So what after begin, whatever commands you executed, right, those are cancelled. Those results are cancelled. So we can start transaction by using command called begin. After begin, whatever the statements you write, those statement result, if you want to save permanently into database, we use command called commit. If you want to cancel the results of the commands you started after begin, then you can use rollback. Let's say, let me once again execute this one. I am trying to modify age of third employee. Let's say again here I'm starting a begin transaction. Then I'm inserting employee 3 record. Okay. And then I'm typing commit. Then I'm executing select the command. Then again I'm starting begin transaction. Then I am executing update command. I am modifying employee 3 is, let's say I am modifying employee 3 is equal to 29. Assume after updating the records, we realized that still age is 28 only. So we did a wrong update. Then we want to cancel this update. Then execute rollback. Then re-execute select star from employees. You can see update transaction is cancelled. So clear writing in MySQL, if you want to start any transaction, we start using begin command. Yeah. Any question here, team? Save point is different. This is for transaction. Uh, Usually, if you write any SQL statement inside a editor, each SQL statement we call it as one transaction. So the result of that transaction, if you want to save permanently, we use commit. If you want to cancel that result, we use rollback. If you want to apply commit and rollback, you have to start before that transaction. You have to start any transaction by using command called begin. If you not use begin, right? If you not use begin, then commit and rollback will not work. Yeah, let's continue. As part of AWS RDS, we are learning SQL for AWS Data Engineering. In that, let's continue. DCL language. DCL stands for Data Control Language. Control language having two commands. One is grant, one is grant, and other one is revoke command. Grant and revoke. So using grant command, we can give a privileges to the users, and using revoke, we can cancel privileges to the users. Okay. In this session, we are going to see creating users, then assigning permissions on tables, database, and other database objects. Okay, using grant, we can give a privileges. Using revoke, we can cancel privileges. Okay, let's start first creating users. So I am creating 3 users. So I am creating user. Username is Sreenivas in localhost and password is Sreenivas. Similar way, I am creating user Badri. Password is Badri. I am creating user Swati and password is Swati. Let me create a user. Let me create another user. Let's create third user. Okay. I created 3 users team, and then I am trying to give grants on my database tables. So syntax is grant privilege on database dot table to particular user. So let me give a grants to user. So I am giving grant on raw DB to all tables to Padri user. So I am giving grant all privileges on raw underscore DB dot star. Star means here raw underscore DB, we have tables, we have views, we have stored procedures and functions. So we are giving all objects in this database. Star means all. So whatever there in raw underscore DB, we are giving all privileges on that database to user Padri. Next one, I am giving only employee table access permission to Srinivas user. In raw underscore DB, I am giving only employee table privilege to Srinivas user. Similar way, for other user, Swati user also I am giving only access to employee table. Using grant, we are giving access to the users. Next one, I want to revoke these privileges. Grant privileges. Next, revoke privileges. So to cancel privileges, we can use revoke command. Revoke privileges on database dot database object from user and from host. So I am canceling insert update on employee table to Srinivas user. So if you see here, we give For Srinivas user on table, we give all privileges. All privileges means insert, update, delete, read permission, and employees table. And we cancelled insert update on this table. So from all permissions, we cancelled insert and update on employees table to Srinivas user. So Srinivas user can read, can delete, but he cannot perform insert update on employee table. Similar way, next I am doing revoke operation on uh, revoke all privileges from Srinivas user. So I am removing all privileges on employee table from Srinivas user. So again, I am revoking all privileges on entire database objects, raw underscore DB objects. First of all, there are no privileges on entire database objects. Srinivas user having only employee table privileges. That's why if you see here, we are getting error. There is no such grant defined for Srinivas user. So I want to know what are grants assigned for users. We can use show grants for user at the rate host name. So this command shows what are grants presented for user. Let's fetch other users grants team. Yeah, you can see. Let's check other user grants. Yeah, if you see Badri user, see when you create a user account, it is granted usage on all database, everything in this RDS MySQL database. And after that, we granted uh, raw underscore DB dot star. We give uh, all objects inside raw underscore DB database. So two grants assigned to Badri user. Let me check to another user. So grants for Swati user. For Swati user, while creating user account, it is granted usage on complete this MySQL database. And next one, we given select, insert, update on raw underscore DB with the table, which table? EMP table. Okay. So using grant command, we can give a privilege. Using revoke command, we can cancel privileges for users. Yeah. Now let's AWS RDS. In that, we are going to continue fill command means while retrieving data from table, we are going to write conditions using where class. Okay, for that one, I'm going to create one table called transactions, and I'm going to insert some records into that table. Let me create this table. So I'm creating table transactions. Let me create a table transactions. I create a table called transactions. Then I'm inserting records into this table. I'm inserting some records. So I'm inserting some records. Then if I want to display complete records of this transaction table, can anyone tell me how to write? Query to retrieve all records from transaction table. Select star from transactions. So if I use this command, it will display complete rows and complete columns and complete rows of a table. I want only uh, card transactions, or I want only 10 records. I do not want all records. Then how to write? Select star transactions. There is an operator called limit. Then we can specify number of rows we want. Then it will limit the number of rows. Instead of all rows, it will limit 10 rows only. And next one, see, I want to retrieve all columns from the table. I want to retrieve all columns from the table. Then you can specify each column name in selection, or you can use a star. You can use a star, or you can use column names. Next requirement is I want to filter the only card transactions. I do not want to cash transactions. I want only uh, card transactions. So for my restaurant who visited, who used only card instead of cash, I want to find the details who used card transaction. See, who used card. Next one, I want to only people who spent greater than $30 or 30 INR. Who spend more than $30. So we use where column name and we use operator called greater than and this value. So you can see money value greater than 30. You can see all money who spent greater than 30. Next one, we can use logical operators. Using logical operators, we can combine multiple conditions, multiple filter conditions. So I want to who used card and who spent greater than $30. Two conditions. So condition one, filter condition 1 and filter condition 2. If both are satisfied, then only it will return. See? So you can see who used a card, who spent greater than 30. Next one, like operator. Like operator can be used to retrieve records with satisfied letters or characters. So I do not know complete name of a particular copy. I know particular letters of a copy name. Then you can use like operator. You can find entire product name. So I am using like operator. Like coffee name starts with lady and percentile symbol. Percentile means 0 or more characters. So after lady, 0 or more characters. Then other one, I want to know coffee name ends with Cino, C-A-N-O. And before this Cino, 0 or more characters. We use percentile. Coffee name ends with Cino. So we will get cappuccino. All products ends with name CANO. So there is a product called cappuccino. So we used percentile symbol, right? Percentile means before these characters, 0 or more characters. If anything matched with 0 or more characters, it will return all those coffee names. Similar way, I want to find middle characters. I know only middle characters. Let's say coffee name like COF. I know this COF is middle, and before this, some characters may be present. After this, some characters may be present. So for that, I used a percentile before this COF. It means it will check any characters before COF, it will look. After COF, it will look 0 or more characters. So we can see black coffee 2 times. So next one, I want to know coffee second character I know, but first character I forgot. And after that second character, there are many characters. I know second character, I forgot first character, I forgot third to last character. If I want to know only, if I forgot only one character, one first character, then I can use underscore. If it is percentile, it will check 0 or more characters before this character. So instead, I'm using underscore. Underscore means exactly one character. It look for exactly one character before A. See for before A, uh, product names Cappuccino, Lady. Okay, the three products. So similar to like operator, we have not like operator. Not like operator exactly opposite to like operator, except that product. It will return other products. In where class, if you use not like, except this product, it will return other products. It is exactly opposite to like operator. Combining like with logical operators means I want to add multiple conditions. Then we go with logical operators. I think someone is trying to ask. Any question? Thing? Yeah, here my requirement is I know only these letters, characters. I do not know. I forgot some characters after lady. If any, that's what percentile. If you use a percentile, it look for 0 or more. That's what we get only lady. If you see here, we get only except lady, we got remaining products. Percentile means 0 or more. I may thinking after lady, some characters may be present. That's what I am using percentile. Percentile look for 0 or more characters matched. Maybe space. So next one, I'm writing one more query here using like with combination of and operator. If you see here, so like operator, I'm checking coffee name starts with lady, ends with 0 or more characters, and coffee name also uh, middle heart before this 0 or more characters, after this 0 or more characters means I'm looking two kinds of coffee names. So here it should satisfy and operator, right? It should satisfy two conditions. So lady is matched with the first one, and after lady there are no characters heart. That's why we got empty records. If you select only this one, you will get records. So there are two products, but if you combine two conditions, right, and operator expects both conditions should be satisfied. With this combination, there is no product called coffee name. That's why we got empty records. There is one more operator called R operator. So R operator returns at least one condition true. And operator returns both conditions should be true. Otherwise, it will not return results. So here I am checking coffee name starts with lady or coffee name first characters may be any, middle character AMER, and last characters 0 or more characters. So we are getting uh, two types of copies here because it matched with first condition some coffee names and second condition with some coffee names. R operator, which one is true, it will return all those products. Next one, in operator thing. Let's say I want to search multiple coffee names instead of single coffee name. I want to search with multiple coffee name. We use in operator. We can check, we can provide a list of coffee names. Then this where condition, each record of coffee name, check it is presented with any one of this name. So we can provide multiple values instead of using single value. If you want to check, compare with multiple values, we use a list of values inside a parenthesis. Then we use in operator to compare each value with value presented in each row. It will take each row value. It will check whether that value is matched with any one of this list of values. Similar way, in we have not in, and next important one, between operator thing. Between operator similar to uh, similar to greater than and less than. So here I'm using between operator to check values between specified range is available or not. So my requirement is I want to know transactions who spend money between 20 and 40. So this one is like greater than or equal to 20, 20 and less than less than 40, less than 40. So same thing we can replace with less than and greater than symbols. Let me execute this query. So you can see all the money transactions greater than or equal to 20. You can see even if any transaction happen with 20, you can see that product, but all the values less than 40 only. You can see any product is not equal to 40 and greater than 40. All are less than 40. The next one, very, very important operator, order operator team. If you see, if you use select query, if you use column names, what happen? By default, it will display ascending order. Sorry, uh, it will display insertion order. But my requirement is I want to display either ascending order, descending order based on particular column values. Then we use class called order by class. Here we use column name. By default, it will display ascending order, but my requirement is who spend money greater compared to other transactions. I want to display higher values first, followed by lower values. Then I am using order by money column descending. You can see highest transaction in this restaurant is 50 and lowest transaction is 26. Next important one, group by class thing. Group by class can be used to combine same group of values. Let's say uh, in my restaurant we have multiple products. My requirement is I want to find how many products in each, how many transactions happen on each product. Then I can go with group by coffee name. It will groups all the transactions with coffee name. Let's say we have multiple coffee names. For each coffee name, it will create a group. Let's say all cappuccino related products in one group, all iced latte with one group, all latte with one group. Like this, each coffee name, it will create a separate group. all the transactions, that product, it will enter into same group. Then say coffee name and count. Let's say this one is cappuccino and number of records. Then I can find each copy sold or sold many times. You can see. So next one, limit. Limit already we see. Instead of displaying all records, I want only 5 records. Then I can go with the limit operator. So if I use select, it will return all the transactions, but my requirement is only 5 records. Then next important operator is distinctive. If you see, if I select coffee name, coffee name without distinct, what happened? It will return including duplicate names, because coffee names, they may added multiple times. So every record is presented repeatedly. So you may see cappuccino added two times. So if you use select with a particular coffee name, so coffee name is coming two times if it is sold two times. But my requirement is I do not want to duplicate. I want only unique values. Then we can use distinct copy name. It will return all unique names. So to remove duplicate while retrieving, instead of duplicates, if you want only unique values, we use distinct space column name. It will return all unique values. So these are different filter conditions, team.